beautiful name. Too good for you, really.
Yes.
Now you must come when you're called. I can't be chasing after you now, can I, Julia?
No, Mrs. No.
No. Now fetch me my good scissors.
Yes, Mrs.
Hopeless. I swan, some days I think it would be an easier miracle for me to get up out of this chair and walk than it would be to trade those backward souls.
Yes, Mother. Saving heathens is a never-ending chore.
Don't be cheeky. Where are you going?
I'm just stepping out.
You're not smoking, are you? You know I hate it when you come back smelling of smoke.
No, Mother.
Stinks up the whole parlor.
Yes, Mother. Julie,
Sir?
step outside with me.
But, sir,
It's all right. You mustn't be pregnant with Mother. She isn't well. You must try and make her remaining days feel a little easier. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
With a cheerful smile.
I'll try, sir.
Good. Let me see you smile. India? Indy, is it? That's a beautiful name. Really? You mustn't let her disturb her. Illness makes her irascible. She really doesn't have much wrong. Don't you worry, though. Just to have a home here with us, me, my wife. She'll appreciate next to that hand to help with the children. Oh. Do you like children, Andy? We have boys, and they can be quite the handful. She gets terribly anxious about them. Don't you worry, we won't let you go.
Julia, where are my scissors?
It's all right.
Stop!
You little minx. Go on. You mustn't keep Mrs. waiting. Julie, let's keep this little discussion between us. Talk of death can be upsetting, Mother. It's best to keep your head down and not speak, yeah? Good girl. Andy.
Mama.
Yes,
And students?
somewhere hearing the news for the first time. They're holding a service for him tomorrow. He was buried in the rain by Isabella. Mother, like yesterday's garbage.
He's with God now, in his glory.
One of the Moabites stands at the head of the wagon that carried his body. Nobody stopped him. They danced while Elijah lies in the mud, alone.
You couldn't have stopped the mob, Edward. No one changed the time.
I will hold a funeral for him, a proper Christian burial.
You can't. The mob is still there, hungry for another victory. You would be making your own grave beside Elijah.
don't understand. How could this have happened? I thought every man, even the lowest, would attempt to listen to reason.
Ye shall know them by their fruits.
Elisha said that. He knew that Isabella, and he knew his fate. Deep down, I think he knew. And yet he never wavered. Christ,
Edward,
he was a true soldier of God, dear. I must strive to be more like him, and I must be steadfast.
you are.
No, I wavered. I was foolish. I let the devil win.
Stop blaming yourself, Edward. Elijah was passionate but reckless. You are different. Have you eaten today? Anything? Here.
I will announce to the world what happened here. His murder, the truth, not these lies that are spreading like prairie fires.
Will you write a sermon?
Who will listen to a sermon? Only those who know the truth. No. I must write a book. An account of the event leading up to the riots in Alton. Elijah's martyrdom. The whole world will know.
That's a brilliant idea. You could reach so many by writing, and you would have to travel to speaking engagements.
No, I must do both, dear. It is my duty like it was his. I must write and speak about abolition at every opportunity.
I wish I could help. If I could write it like your sister, I would write about abolition too, but from a woman's perspective. Do you think she would?
Who?
Your sister, Harriet. She shares your talent. Would she consider writing a book too, do you think?
I don't know. Perhaps.
Shall I write and ask her?
Yes, dear, that's fine.
Have you written your family about Alton?
About all.
Yes. If they know you and Elijah were friends, if they hear about the riot, you might think,
That I was marked. Fighting with my brother in the Lord instead of home, safe, warm with my family.
they would be worried sick. Would you like me to write them?
Yes, dear, perhaps. Perhaps that's best.
I'm going to write Harriet too. I'm going to encourage her to pen to paper. Elijah will not have died in vain, my darling.
The good Reverend Elijah Lovejoy was assassinated just for standing up for the Word of God. He dared to proclaim divinity in all of us.
It's wrong, Professor. He was killed because he was against the law.
Yeah, that's
How dare you say that about Reverend Lovejoy?
Let's hear what the son of the Southerner has to say.
His followers slaves. What do you have to say?
Friends, are we not all, Northerner and Southerner alike, enjoying the rights of citizenship at this moment? We are expressing our opinions, are we not?
Yes, we are.
All right, and blessed, for which I'm thankful every day. Charles, you and I don't agree, but is that a reason for me to take away your liberties?
For you to
No, if one man or a mob can take away the rights of another, then no man's rights are safe.
That's right.
Elijah Lovejoy was standing up for his right to say and publish what he believed in the depths of his soul after ongoing prayer and consultation with God. All Americans are entitled to this right.
Yes, we are.
Friends, the mob silenced Reverend Lovejoy. forever. Did they have that right? No! In the name of one sin, they committed another. Was that just?
No!
Let us honor him by fighting slavery until freedom is every man's right. That's right.
Thank God for Easter newspapers. At least they print the facts. Did you read the Boston Atlas? Alton has far outrun Vicksburg for a reputation of blood and infamy. Oh, and then there's the mob's favorite, the good old Missouri Republican. Did you read the latest issue? No. It's pro-slavery slump. Even papers in Wisconsin and Iowa are taking Edward into college to task, tying us firmly to the cause of abolitionists. They should never brought forth press to Alton. Julian, are you saying that we shouldn't
I'm
even
saying
acknowledge-
it was a foolhardy move. Nothing more.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Edward. Oh, it's good to see the news reports are wrong.
Which ones?
The ones that claim you're dead. Some say you died with Elijah at Alton. Others claim we had a riot on campus similar to Alton's and you were a victim. I must say you're looking pretty well for a corpse.
Thank you.
While others report you alive but want you dead. The Missouri Republican states, the doctor is now esteemed by everybody as an abolitionist and in a much more odious light than was the deceased Lovejoy. Upon him rests the censure due to the late violent proceedings, and morally and politically, he stands answerable to fatal consequences.
Did you read the Burlington Gazette? We have learned with unalloyed pleasure that the trustees of the college at Jacksonville, Illinois, have dismissed the president of that institution, the Reverend Edward Beecher.
How's that? The immediate cause of dismissal was the conspicuous part in which Mr. Beecher took at the abolitionist excitement at Alton. But there was another cause which rendered him odious.
Odious again? Do all reporters use the same dictionary?
Odious to the trustees and the friends of the college, and that was his insidious attempts to instill the poison of abolition into the tender minds of his charge.
Shall we write to them and set them straight? Tell them nothing's changed? He's still president of the college?
Yes, and send it the source. Listen, Edward, you have nothing to worry about in terms of the fact. We know the truth. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. Everything has changed, Turner. And yet our state leaders have said nothing about Elijah's assassination.
Not true. One young lawmaker alluded to him at the State House, though he didn't mention Lovejoy by name. Lincoln wasn't?
The tall fellow. Yes, Lincoln. That's the fellow.
He spoke out on the evil of mob rule.
Yeah, that was safe.
That was something.
Have you heard about William Harnden?
No.
His father recently pulled him from the college.
Harmon? No.
Yes, apparently we turned him into a damned abolitionist.
A damned abolitionist, eh? Well, I'm glad to say that we did it for him.
Be careful, Edward. Words like that only add fuel to the fire. There are rumors the mob may be coming for. I don't know if they're credible, but I think we need to be prepared, in case.
They will not be coming. They'll be lying low after Alton.
Edward, you are an industrious champion of this college, but You are a naive fool when it comes to the pro-slavery population around here.
Naive?
Consider Elijah's widow. Consider Isabella and your children.
Perhaps I do owe my father a visit.
The East is lovely this time of year.
I will consider it.
Good evening. On behalf of Illinois College, I would like to thank the church for the use of their sanctuary for tonight's orations. I'd also like to thank my fellow Sigma Pi's and the townspeople for their attendance tonight. To begin our evening of orations, I will begin with a talk on slavery.
Not again.
The crisis of our times. Slavery is a religious, moral, and humanitarian crisis. First, I will address it from a religious perspective. Simply stated, slavery is a sin. The way that they are treated, the conditions they live in are appalling. And I can further...
Have you ever owned a slave?
Excuse me?
Have you ever owned a slave?
I would never.
Well, then how do you know how they are treated? I feed and clothe my slaves, I get them medicine when they're sick. Hell, I even let them marry, like white folk.
Sir, please allow Mr. Willard to finish his speech. Questions are allowed at the end of the presentation.
I won't be here, Beecher. You and that abolitionist buddy of yours are turning that school into an anti-slavery brainwashing barnyard.
We allow free speech, good sir, as our Constitution promises.
You're going to be watching all of you from now on. Stop spreading lies.
Here, put this on. What's your name?
Julie, Indy.
Indy? That's nice.
My mama named me that. Mrs. called me Julia. She said Indy, a heathen name.
Your mother. Is your mother here? Does she need help as well?
I sold away from her when I was little. I don't know where she is.
Here, put this on too. Pull it down farther. Good. Are you ready, Indy? Don't make a sound. Walk like a man. Don't look around. I'll do that. If anyone comes near, I need you to bend down and pretend like you have a rock in your shoe. You have to get it out. Remember, we're just two friends going to visit a sick friend. If anyone stops us, I will talk. Don't run unless I do. Understand? I will take you part of the way, and my father will take you the rest. Any questions?
If they catch us, will they kill me?
No. No, we want the reward for returning.
But I can't go back, mister. Please! Please!
Come on now. Shh.
Echo!
Good evening, darling. What a day. I asked the most thought-provoking questions I could. Class, silence. None of the students uttered a single word. I know they may be hungry, but well, these annual days of fasting teach us discipline. I hope it wasn't too hard for you.
Not at all, though I shall be glad to eat again. Shall I make dinner? Are you ready to break your fast?
In a moment. I received word from the trustees.
Oh,
It's about the school's finances.
oh dear.
In the years since Alton and the financial panic, we have lost $100,000 in monies promised to us. Our salaries are being cut.
Again? Can they do that? We're already scrimping with the baby coming.
And with the baby coming, don't you think you would have a better time back out east, where family can help us?
And leave you here?
No. No, we're going home. All of us.
But Edward, you love teaching.
And I love my family, too. And I haven't been able to see much of either, not with all these begging trips out east.
We're going home, truly?
Yes, darling.
The children can get to know their grandparents, really know them. George thinks Julian is his grandpa. Imagine. I have to tell Elizabeth. Oh, how I'll miss her. Do you remember the way she made me laugh when we first arrived here? When we both had cholera and you and Julian wore yourselves out in between our rooms. We raised each other's children. Buried some.
We'll see Elizabeth and Julian.
Promise me.
I do. It may not be for a while, but Julian will take charge of the day-to-day operations at my place. He'll have his hands full, maybe too full. He's like a branch that won't bend. One strong wind can break it. I'm afraid there's another storm coming as well.
I don't follow you.
Some of our friends are helping runaway slaves escape from the town.
Friends from the college?
I don't know.
Students?
I think so.
You're not involved, are you?
No.
I'm glad.
Don't worry. Think about going home. I am. Libraries, concerts.
Clam chowder? Shellfish? Grandparents?
Who's ready for some slave catching?
Who ain't catching?
Well, this here's Brant's mama's house girl ran off while they was visiting Jacksonville. Now, we know she's still in town, and we think those damn college abolitionists is helping.
Which one? Willard is the name, but I'm not sure where they's taken. I don't know if I know. Let's go!
Let's go, boy.
Oh, money!
Julian, stop right there! Willard!
Oh, Julian, I talked to you from Jonathan. What happened? It's nothing. It's just a scratch.
Did they throw rocks at you again?
It's fine, Julian.
You need to find a different route to church. It's not safe for you to ride down College Avenue.
It doesn't matter. Listen, Samuel Willard just told me he's leaving the school. Are you in favor of this, Julian?
Is this because he and his father were fine for helping that slave girl?
One of the trustees said that he's a disgrace to the college and should quit.
Which one?
Joseph Duncan, our neighbor.
And former governor. He is very influential.
You'll support this, do you, Julian?
The college just started to regain its financial footing. We're able to buy supplies again. I fear that to push back would be to alienate our trustees.
Do you support this, Julian?
I think we need to be careful.
What happened to that girl? The one Julius was helping that night. What happened?
She was returned to her owner in Louisiana.
No,
That's all I know.
If Samuel leaves, then so do I.
Be reasonable, Jonathan. Samuel is an excellent student and Christian. His graduation is just around the corner. Tell him to focus on his studies, only his studies until then. I'll talk to Joseph.
Thank you, Julian. I think you're starting to come around. I knew you would.
Have you seen the papers? The threats?
No, it's pro-slavery slop.
The threats aren't slop. They are very real.
Oh, I know. I've also been told that slaveholders in Missouri are planning to kidnap us. Or worse. People warned us about the frontier, didn't they? If my grandfather can fight the British at the Battle of Lexington, then I can fight the Slavites here in Jacksonville.
Do you still have your pistol?
Yes.
You had best keep it with you at all times. There's one more thing, Jonathan.
What?
Your paper.
It's time we had a local abolitionist paper. The truth needs to be told, Julian. I received letters of support from all around the country.
And threats. The college could fall, Jonathan. Do you not realize that? Make sure your paper isn't the cause. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom, freedom. Oh, freedom. Over me, yeah.
Is that my sister's book?
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, isn't it beautiful? Look. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Life Among the Lowly by Harry Beecher Stowe, copyright 1852. Hope this helps the cause.
We have an uphill climb. Stephen Douglas made it steeper with his attempt to spread slavery to the South and the West. You know, the West should never be allowed to vote on whether it is slave or free. It was intended to be free and should remain so.
He lived in Jacksonville, didn't he?
Yes, the faculty were never fans of his. I received a letter from Jonathan Turner today. Seems he resigned from College Hill.
Oh, why?
It was clear my supposedly overzealous resistance to slavery was no longer wanted. Family's fine. He's working in horticulture now, developing new plants. Says his boys guard his melon patch. They lie in ambush, guns loaded with salt, ready to fire at the legs of trespassers.
I'm surprised they didn't ask him to resign sooner. His views were always more radical than yours. Glad to know you weren't the only one.
I have no regrets.
I hope not. Have you heard from Julian lately?
Do you remember William Herndon? That student that spoke at the assembly for Elijah and created such a stir.
I think so. His father made him leave the school.
Yes, correct. It says here that he's the law partner of a lawyer in Springfield. Lincoln's the name. Oh, Lincoln. That's the name of the former state representative that Julian thought so much of. Good for him.
I imagine his partner is getting fearful about abolition. When was the last time you heard from Julian?
I can't remember.
Since last year when you visited College Hill? His hands were tied at work.
How ironic that they thought my religious views were too radical to rejoin the faculty. Merely because I believe in our soul's pre-existence. And they said nothing about my abolition views. Am I too radical to teach the students that I once led?
He couldn't go against the tide, Edward. Julian is still a dear friend. Write him.
Is everything ready? Oh, it is now. Here, give this bag to Reverend Hindle. He promised to pass out copies as he writes the circular.
How many would we have to deliver?
420. Oh, but others are coming tomorrow night to help.
Thank the Lord. Have you read it yet? I heard Mr. Stowe portrays slavery as it really is.
Yes, sir. And I believe it's going to change the world. It's already happening. One fellow I gave a copy to, he stopped me the next day and said he would never vote for a pro-slavery candidate again.
Oh, yeah, well, I gave one to a slave guy and he threw it back at me. He pretty good too.
Well, avoid the hardline slavites. Instead, put copies in churches and shops instead. You do know there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Well, I gave one to an older fellow. I told him this is the new good book, and he said he already had it, and he showed me a Bible.
Yeah? Well, tell him that this is the sequel.
Edward? He's here.
Julian, it's good to see you.
The feeling is mutual, old friend. I'm glad you decided to write.
Of course. Come, sit down.
You're Julian. How is the family? Are they well?
All are well, thank you. The children send their love. So, how do you find Dale?
Do you ever expect to be back living in Illinois?
No. It is very agreeable, though. The congregation has welcomed me completely as their pastor. Some of the faculty of Knox College are among them. We feel at home.
Well, I'm very glad.
How are things on College Hill?
Many students have left for the war. It's a strain on finances, as you can imagine. We worry about them. But if you recall Samuel Willard, he joined up.
Samuel Willard. Surely he still can't be a student. He'd be 40 years old if he's a day.
No, he's a military surgeon.
Good for him.
We've done well, Henry. Dozens of our former students are clergy. Richard Yates is making a name for himself as well.
Edward, he was in your very first class. Isn't he the governor now?
Indeed, and he's doing a fine job. Newton Bateman is the state superintendent of schools, and William Preston, surprisingly enough, is the law partner of the president.
Well, now, he always had an excellent voice, Herndon. I wonder if he helped shape Lincoln's attitudes towards the South.
Quite possibly. He was a passionate student. I have faith in him. I have spoken with him many times. He will win this war.
Did you know that he told my sister her book helped start it?
It is a holy book. I've never seen anything change the public's opinion on slavery like it did.
Elijah's murder changed it too.
Yes, of course it did. I apologize.
He has a granite tombstone now. All these roads were being developed. The main avenue traveled directly over his body. A black man pointed it out. They quickly dug him up and gave him a marker.
Those were our darkest hours.
Ours?
Well, I didn't know if the college would survive.
Friend, I didn't know if we would survive.
Well, I'm glad we did. There were times I questioned you, Edward. Perhaps I went too far at times. You were always searching for something.
You shall know them by their fruits.
What's that?
Something that Elijah told me decades ago at the convention. I was naive, Julian. Naive to man's greed and anger. There were times that I thought God had simply turned his head.
You had no easy job. I know that now, especially.
To be honest, I thought it was not right. And it wasn't until Isabella convinced me otherwise.
Well, I'm glad you did. I wouldn't want us to end our lives on bad terms, or having forbidden direct criticism against me. Julian Sturdivant, liar and thief.
Well, careful, friend. I may be old, but I am not unsound.
Well, then I await your criticism with open arms. It was a privilege tending the frontier with you, Edward. We are stronger for it.
I suppose we are.
This war, it determines everything you ever fought for. Are you worried what might come of it?
Every day. I wonder, if the Union wins this war, will our country be stronger for it?
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
See them bright stars over there, Charity? How they dip down? That's the drinking gourd. My mama showed me the drinking gourd gourd when I was your age. You named after her, my sweet little grandbaby. I showed the drinking gourd to your mama when she was a baby. Now, look at the end of the gourd. See how those stars point to that bright star? Back when I was a little girl, that star meant freedom. Slaves tried to reach that. Lots of them. Some died trying. But no more. You don't have to reach for that star, child. You can reach for anyone you want.
No, get down.
You do not have to stay awake, right?
Yeah.
It's been a day. Yeah, I gotta went to cheer. Thank you.
So, I went to bed last night or something like that.
Thank you.
I wake up like,
I'm sure I take lots of points right now, but I just had it from here.
and I'm not
Yeah, but everyone knows it's my phone because no one else that I know has been here, so. My sister works at Disney down in Florida, and I went to go visit her, and at one of the strip malls that they had there, I found this, and I was like, I'm getting that. It took a lot of adjusting because I used to just put it on my phone, whichever way was convenient, but now I have to make sure the ears are up. I know. It was expensive. So I wear it all day. You should down my shirt.
The image of like it's pregnant. It's not one I want to have for a while.
But it has good tops.
You seem so reserved. Except for this one. What I'm saying, what I'm there. What says a lot of stuff.
You were just
I'll answer all your questions. Yeah, I will. I might have taken that early. I'll look for it though, don't worry.
Hey Lauren, can we get some house lights up?
Oh, yeah.
I can barely see these.
Hi everyone, thank you for staying. I guess we'll just get started. As I said, I'm Austin Daniels, I'm the director. This is the playwright Tara McClellan. Long and difficult hours. Maybe we could just go down the row and say your name and who you portrayed, maybe like one or two of your characters that you portrayed, maybe not all of them.
I'm Lauren, I stage manage.
I'm Caroline, I was Mrs. French.
I'm Jillian, I was with Rob Kristen and Rosie.
I'm Laura, I did the slides today, sir. I'm Jessica, I played Celia Lovejoy and Samuel Willard.
I'm Megan Anderson, I played Isabella Beecher.
I'm William Klein, and I played Edward Beecher.
I'm Mason Girl, and I played Elijah Lovejoy and Marcus.
I'm Bailey Shingle and I played Mrs. Lyle and student.
I'm Jordan Wall Streeter, and I played a slave and
I'm Lennox Chase, I played a female slave and Amy. I'm Alyssa Ludwig, I played a slave and another young American.
My name is Morgan. I played Elizabeth Sturdivant, Bob, and
Charles.
I'm Kean Anthony. I played Usher Linder, Branson, and then Obi as well as student heroes.
I'm Greg. I played William Herndon, and I played Julius Willard.
Hello, my name is Noe Cornejo. I played Man 1 and Jonathan Turner.
I'm Leon, aka Victor, and I play Wallites, Slavites, students, and overseers.
Okay, thanks guys. So what questions do you have for any of us?
Or even comments.
Or comments?
Yeah,
Or
comments.
yes.
How accurate was this compared to the actual story?
Oh, a boy after my own heart. That is so awesome that you asked that question. I wanted it to be as accurate as it could be, and we couldn't make it completely accurate for a lot of reasons. One is we don't know everything that happened. Like, we don't really know what the Beecher's marriage was like. We don't really know what Professor Sturtevant and Edward Beecher's friendship was like later in life. We had to make some educated guesses based on what we did know and based on talking to experts and what we thought would happen. So I would say it's about, I hope, 80% accurate. The events that we portray really happened. Elijah Lovejoy's press was attacked and destroyed 4 times. He was murdered by the mob in Alton. So all those events really happened. But we can't know exactly everything that happened or how everybody felt at every moment about themselves, what was going on, or everybody else. So, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. Love young people who are here. This is wonderful.
How many of you, you might not feel comfortable raising your hand up or down or not, but how many of you found that your interest maybe in the subject or just history in general, as you were going through this, that you had more questions that you kind of wanted to find a little more about, or you became a little more enthused about history? I know for some people, I've taught history, and I know some people like to take a nap during history class, but that's so.
And if I could say something about the cast, I really enjoyed working with this great group of young adults. One thing that impressed me so much is they were peppering me with questions about their characters, and they wanted to know what their characters in real life had written or things that had been written about them, so they could learn more about their characters, the way they thought, the events, etc. So literally one night I came here with toting all of my research, my 2 bags worth of tons of books and articles and everything else, and we just set it out here and started sharing things. So they wanted to know what their characters were really like, and I just appreciated that so much.
I can't think of a better way of making history exciting and interesting, better than what you guys did here.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you.
Any other observations or questions?
So the women, especially the wives of Beecher or Sturtevant or Lovejoy, must have been the hardest to have their lives filled out because they weren't given the space or the time or the encouragement to be writing letters and speeches. So I wonder how the women who were portraying women, how you dealt with that fact that there wasn't as much physical evidence to talk about what kind of persons they were.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second and say, thankfully we had a few, very few letters that Isabella Beecher wrote. So we got a little glimpse of her character through that, but the evidence was scant for all the women overall.
So how did you all deal with that?
Well, I played Celia Lovejoy, and honestly what I did was mostly just go through Elijah Lovejoy's character. also Celia was a very supportive wife, and since there was very scant evidence of her herself, if I found it best to kind of look at Elijah's life and see how he would have reacted to things, and then approach it and think, okay, well, she was a very supportive and loving wife. She would probably agree with him on things, but he was away a lot. He was very committed to his work. So for me, they had a very loving relationship. They agreed. She wanted him to do well in his work, but obviously she's still a wife. She still misses her husband. And so it was kind of more approaching it in broad aspects, since there are not a lot of records about her life specifically.
The very few things that I saw as Lovejoy was about his wife was written by Lovejoy's brother, I think Owen, was it? Owen Lovejoy? And they were very, brief stuff, because obviously his books were more about Elijah. But they were, very brief, so the lot of information that we got, worked really well.
I agree with Jessica. I feel like Isabella was supportive, but also kind of a voice of reason. Like, oh, you can't go back to Alton because they'll kill you. So I just tried to be as supportive, yet like you're overthinking this, but like also supportive at the same time as much as I could. I don't know if that answered your question, but I hope
We
so.
wanted Isabella to be a little bit of a light and a voice of reason and bring in a little bit of humor if possible, because there's so much seriousness in the play. Now, was she really like that? We don't know. We took our artistic license, to be honest. And I've got to give credit where credit's due. Ossie Daniels, the head of the theater department, Nancy Taylor Porter, helped a great deal with the script throughout the process of the development and made it better. And Willem, you hold your hand up too. He helped do some of the writing at the very end, so I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
I really appreciated weaving the slave story and the abolitionist story together, back and forth, because it really showed, I think, not only the bravery of the few abolitionists that had a voice in white America, but it's almost infinitesimal compared to the suffering and the uncertainty of life of the slaves. And so that their sacrifice is magnified in that respect.
Thank you. We thought that was important to do. It's really all about them in a way, Anything else? Things that you saw that surprised you? Anybody? I'd be interested. Anything you saw that you learned or surprised you? Yes, sir.
How Isabella Reacher had like 3 kids. That kind of
She had like 12. I think, they had a lot of, they had big families back then, but the sad thing is most of the children did not live to adulthood. Now, in the Beecher's case, the majority did, I think 9 did, approximately, but they had a lot of kids.
We just couldn't keep parading them across. Just made the whole play.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you about the choice of music. There was so much music interwoven in the whole play. I wondered what you were trying to do and how you chose it.
Well, that's a question for me. As a director, I often start with music. Once I have a script, I often think about what music that I already know might go with the script. And so I kind of start from there and allow myself to be inspired by the music as I think about the direction that the play will eventually go in. I knew right away when we announced the season, I knew that I wanted Jordan and wanted the whole group to sing. I love having live music in theater, even if it's not a musical. And Jordan is the president of the student campus group Music in Christ, and I felt that they would really add a wonderful dimension. So I asked him way back in May if he would commit to the
this project. And he spoke for the whole group, and then some of the group said, well, I don't want to be on stage. So we, luckily Alyssa joined in as well. And we're lucky enough to have Lenexia, who also sings, but she's not part of the group. But she could be, if she were a senior. So that's where some of the live music, where all the live music came from, and I asked Jordan to research some spirituals that the slaves might have sung. The recorded music was a group that I was exposed to when I was in my undergrad. Sweet Honey in the Rock is Washington, D.C. based, sometimes quintet, sometimes sextet. They sing all a cappella music. They write a lot of their own stuff, and they also will do more traditional or public domain music. And I've loved them for lots of years. And so I just think that they're magical, and they hit me right here every time I hear them. And so I just wanted to share it with you. It was a long-winded way of saying it.
But I love it. I think the music works so well with it. I love it.
And then our sound designer picked some of this stuff too. Some of the instrumental music and the drone that's heard sometimes under the more sinister scenes. So it was a collaborative effort.
Did you guys like the images that were projected? Yeah. Do you think they added? Good.
I didn't really understand when the slaves were in the pictures. I didn't really understand what that meant. So what did it mean?
What did it mean? It's a wonderful question. When they were in the pictures, in my head, and it may or may not have resonated for everybody, in my head, in that moment, they were ghosts on campus, right? So we saw on the screen the pictures of Edward Beecher and Julian Sturdivant, and then Jonathan Turner, and then to parallel that, all of a sudden we see these other images in picture frames, but they're not alive. They are, but they're not, right? So they're like, don't forget about us, was basically what I wanted to say with that.
So don't forget.
It's our story too. Thanks for the question. I wondered if anybody would.
I just want to say that, so when I was working for Illinois College, I sat in that room and looked at those pictures hours at meetings. And to see the frames and then to see the African Americans portraying slaves behind those frames, I thought it was really moving.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Also, when the two shot Lovejoy and have the wheelchair in the next scene.
Yes.
Did you do that just to build up suspense where everybody thought Lovejoy was still alive? Did you
Oh, because of the wheelchair?
Yeah.
Oh,
We were also.
I didn't think of that at all.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah, you are.
Because I didn't know the history of that until now. So I was like, okay, so Lovejoy's just.
I like how you're thinking.
It's brilliant. And then when I saw that it was somebody different, I was like, oh.
Someday you're going to be directing a show here. I think that's what we're going to see in about 20 years.
And then when I saw that it was somebody different, I was just like, oh, no. Because
I was just going to ask May Stevens spit on the floor in the ballroom coming up here to the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
We've been given permission.
We'll see, yeah. I give him a little wink when I'm walking off stage. Yeah. No political.
No, we won't be political.
I'm not, I spit on your stage.
Did you guys know this story? How many people knew this story before they came?
I knew that Illinois College had history to it, but I knew it had history, but I didn't know what history was.
Well, I hope whether you do it or not, I hope it was interesting, and I hope it was time well spent, and we appreciate you being here tonight very much.
go.
just want to come down here and talk to us, we'll stay. We want to let everybody else go probably, so you can come down. Yeah, you come on down. Everybody else, thanks so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Do you have a question for friends?
Yeah, technically, when I saw all of you just do it, I just thought it's just less things I have done.
Thank you so much. I think you're our new mascot. What's your name? All right. Thank you so much, Ellen.
You have to stick around, or what do you gotta do? You have stuff to do? You have stuff to do? You wanna go for dinner then?
You want to go to Steak and Shake? You want to go to Steak and Shake? Sure.
Bye.
Carl's coming.
Carl, you want to go to Steak and Shake?
I was in this car. No, you weren't watching it.
Both of yours are sides. Both of them.
I actually drove car. We went to school together.
We graduated the same year.
I looked it up. That's a lot more than that. I had no idea. I was one that was like full focus. When did you drive?
The coolest car I've ever been in.
And you know how they say that small thing I it was like
Loading the jag.
what? Like I only drove it for 2 seconds.
This is Dr. Jean. She was one of the very fun picture that I consulted with. Daniels, the director. She came from Walensee College to see this. Oh my goodness. It was so nice.
Well, I just couldn't miss it. It was just wonderful. Well, I did a paper here on Edward Beach here for the Historical Association several years ago. And so just standing at Beach Hall gave me chills, so I had to come back and see everything. So it was great. Yes. Thank you. Very, very nice job.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Local wants to do it. Let us know, but they probably don't want to do something about the college.
Oh, no, it would be wonderful. Because see, our theater program, our full-time person retired about 3 years ago, and then they decided not to renew full-time faculty in theater. So they only went to adjunct, and now they're talking about, just not able to restoring it. And everybody is feeling the void. And I'm just thinking, man, we could just add a production, maybe we could get pretty excited to just sit back.
Hello, Jasper.
Seriously, you guys want to think about that or discuss it, let us know. It's really, I think that was good just to exhausting, but just in the other room there.
Oh, well, I don't know if he was
Well,
just like, maybe you could try that.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible.
Well, at any rate, thank you so much. Wonderful.
really drives me on it.
Oh, it was really
Great.
Oh, well, you made mine too, so. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Hi, I did have a question for you. I just, of course, didn't want to put this in front of everybody because it's not my thing.
were they ever?
No, there was a trial.